Morning. On today's episode of Farming with the Browns, we might do some beans. It's kind of the plan. So we're going to put some paddles on Dad's draper head, the McDonald. These are from May West. The McDonald doesn't have a query system, and with the beans that we have that are real short, I think this will kind of help bridge that gap a little bit. So I'll put those on there today before we get started. Now here in a little bit I have to go take my truck to get some batteries tested. I have a 2021 pickup with bad batteries. Now in all honesty, some of that is probably from leaving my air compressor on too long with the truck not running. But when I get back, now I don't know if we're gonna make beans or not today. I hope so. But our electrician is working on our dryer today. He's got the whole day to be here. This is a different electrician in the barn. This is the guy that's wired up all of our bins. He is a farmer in the area and works for a local farm right down the road, one of our neighbors. Well, the neighbors are all at the farm science for you, so he stayed here to try to knock this dryer out. So we might be helping him while he's here. That would realistically be the smart thing to do, probably. So these things, basically, if I'm not mistaken, I think they go on every third one. So they just kind of go up here and they slide right into place. But basically, with these being wider, they should flip more of the smaller beans into the header. So in a riveting turn of events, folks, we're going to run one load of corn. Now you may be wondering, why would you do that? Well, the answer is because when we finished the other night, the grain cart still had 6,000 pounds on it, and there's 24 rows of corn left in this field. So when you take the end rows off from the field, they typically don't stand real well. Basically, a good breeze will knock over just 24 rows or 12. Either way, I want to get those off there, and that ain't enough for a whole load. So we're gonna go pick the ends off of another field, or enough to fill the truck. Might as well get a whole truckload if we're gonna get a little bit. I am going to be your Gleaner pilot today. Dad is going to continue to help our electrician on the grain bins, or on the grain dryer. Yeah, we're unfolding. I would unfold and show you, but I gotta hit this button and this button because, well, we kind of got it hodgepodge together, but we're using a power switch from the Prairie system, and I gotta hit that button right there. Kind of a two-handed operation. Okie dokie, here we are. Looks like we might have had more than 24. I think we had 36 rows. Then I'm gonna take the ends off this field along the road. That way the people that live back this driveway can see a little bit better. Corn is wonderful. It's one of my favorite crops to grow, but when it's at the end of your driveway, sometimes it's hard to see. Brother BJ's in the grain cart for now. This won't take long. Like I said, we're only going to do one load, and then we're going to unhook from the corn head, and then tomorrow we will be running beans. That's the plan. This is probably some of the rougher corn we're going to have. This is historically ground that does absolutely terrible in drier conditions. A couple years ago, this was 230, 240 bushel corn. So, I mean, it's not bad, but it's still off quite a bit. People have asked in the last few days, especially at Farm Science Review, how's the corn? I'm like, well, it's better than we expected. It's about 50 bushel better than we expected. It's about 60 bushel worse than last year. That's where we're kind of at. Don't get me wrong, we're happy to have what we have because we didn't think we were going to get this much. But in the grand scheme of things, price of corn's down. The cost of corn to put this crop out was not down when we did it. It is now a little bit, but the price is down and our yield's down. So, you know, comparative to last year, it's going to be less income. Assuming you didn't sell a lot of stuff last year ahead of time at the higher prices. So we made in this field 186 bushel per acre. Hopefully it doesn't get much worse than this, but we'll see. Alright, we are done for the day with corn. So we're just going to unhook this on the ground, and that way we can switch to beans. Hello?
Mercury switch inside that box. Whenever it tips up out of horizontal, then it shuts her down. That's why.
Morning. We got lights, and they're pretty bright. That makes me happy. First thing this morning, we're doing a little bit of work on the dryer. So the master electrician, AJ, he has been coming over every evening and staying until dark this week. He's about got our dryer hooked up. So if you're not familiar with the channel, AJ works for a farm down the road. They are also harvesting, so he's helping us the best he can when he can in between harvest hours. But he's about got us hooked up. We got to hook the auger up to fill our dryer. Lift it up there and see how many. So right now, what we're having a little issue with is this auger right there. It's like 2 or 3 inches off. So yeah, we gotta try to figure something out there. We got some bands, we can probably get it. Seems like this dryer sits up just a little bit higher there at the top. We'll figure something out, but Bengals prediction.
I got an extra day to think about it. Come back tomorrow. Play on Monday night.
Ah, it is Monday night. You can come forward. So here we're getting our blower up off the ground a little bit. After that, I think we're kind of done here for a little while. So for those of you that don't know, this is the air system. This is the thing that meters the grain. I guess that's the blower back there, but this is what meters the grain out of the dryer through this pipe and up into a grain bin. So we gotta get it up off the ground a little bit. So now here are the things that need to happen. We need to switch over 2 combines to run beans. We need to take a truck to the ethanol plant. Had one last load to take up there, I guess. And then we need to prepare grain bins at the other facility to handle beans. We'll see where we get today. Hoping to at least get some beans ran today. Not super worried about getting the bins ready, because we can probably load the trucks and the grain cart and get most of what we're going to get done today like that. I'm guessing these are going to be closer to 50 bushel beans versus what we've been running in the past. So if that's the case, each truck's going to be 20 acres. So 3 trucks and a 1,300 bushel grain cart should be plenty. At least by the time we get started. We should be able to do about 150, 200 acres a day with 2 machines running, but by the time we get everything moved, situated, we're not going to get a full day of running. And we really don't have that much beans that are ready to run. Maybe have 200 acres. So we got all that stuff to do, but first we're going to feed. So this winter, we do have some projects. Got a stove sitting here, refrigerator front here, kitchen cabinets. That stuff's gonna be right through here. But we're not gonna quit harvesting to do that now.
You should knock on George's door.
If I knocked on George's door, I'd have to feed him. So that's the field and that one. It's going to get done today, hopefully. Now, before we get to running those beans, we are going to take this truck up here. This has the corn that we ran yesterday. Get it hauled up there, get the truck empty, and then we'll Come back here, switch the combine over and get to it. Be honest with you, I'm kind of low-key hoping Dad does that while I'm gone, but if he doesn't, I don't blame him. Dad hates driving trucks for some reason. He told me to go take us up there. We'll see if he switches the combine. I really think he'd rather switch a combine than drive a truck, which makes no sense. Switching combines is a dusty, dirty job. It is one of the main regrets about not buying a cloth. The new cloths, you can basically stay in the cab to switch them. I probably should have started the truck. And I sure hope BJ switched the disconnects because we ain't got no juice. Yeah, this is good. BJ didn't flip the disconnect. To be honest, I don't even know if this truck has a disconnect. And we ain't got any juice. Like none. I've never seen it this dead. I don't know if someone left the lights on or the key on, but there is nothing. Nothing. So we're really dead. We'll let that truck charge for a minute. While we're doing that, we're gonna move a grain head. Now that you guys know where my hitches are, please don't steal them. I probably ought to move my truck before it gets filled with dust. So I'd say he is going to go try it very soon. I think that combine is switched over and ready to go. And then providing these beans are as ready as I think we are, or as we think they are, we'll probably switch the Gleaner over. But right now the Gleaner is set for corn. We really don't have much more corn that can run, but we do have some. So if the Gleaner, or if the beans aren't ready, we'll just keep running corn. Somehow, on that restart, all my digital gauges got turned to the metric system. I have no idea how much 989 kilometers are, but I believe this truck has around 600,000 miles, so apparently it's about that much. First person up here I've seen run. Haven't started filling the big corn pile yet. I'm gonna walk out here with what we're leaving on the ground. Things look like they're potted pretty low. So these were some of the first we planted. Not really any beans on the ground. One bean, maybe two. In a square foot, but some places where they're potted low, he's just not getting the bottom ones. That's where I really like having the flex cutter bar. There are trade-offs, so neither system's perfect, but the flex cutter bar will shave the ground a little bit. So it is closing in on 3 o'clock now, and BJ went to go get his kid from school. I've got to take my kids to a practice at 5. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I'm a coach for Dax's Little League team, and we're having tryouts. I don't know why we're having tryouts in September for baseball, but we are, I guess. So basically, since it's 3 o'clock, I'm going to help BJ get those grain bins ready to dump grain in, and then when we get back, I will switch over my combine. What I'm saying is I don't know if the Gleaner is going to make an appearance in the bean field today. Might be just better off to dump a couple trucks for Dad and get those bins ready. We don't have anywhere to dump right now. We have to sweep out the bins. There's no grain in the bins, but we like to clean them out completely before we put grain back in them. So we will sweep them out with a broom, try to get all the debris off the walls, and we've got to check a couple things on the leg and whatnot. So we're going to up Dad's game a little bit. I'm giving him my Osmo Action Cam, but he's got his own little lav mic. We'll see how bad that works. Sometimes it's hard to hear Dad in that combine. He sets the camera so far away from him, pointing the wrong direction. All you hear is the combine run. So one, like, not real official way to find out what kind of loss you got is to look at your tire tracks. Like, I can see the cleats from the combine right through here. And if you got beans sitting in those tracks that haven't been pressed down, it means they got, you know, flung through there after the combine went by. Now, ideally, we would just put a drop pan down. That'd be the more, you know, that'd be the more accurate way to find that out. But we don't have a drop pan. So we're gonna hop in the cart, dump it for him while we're waiting on BJ to get back. Dad just said these beans are averaging 53. That's better than I expected, but in this part of the field, this upground, right through here, he said it's running 35 to 45, which is kind of what I expected. I don't think we're going to average that low. I think we'll probably average close to 50, it sounds like. Field Across Road don't have any low ground though, so that'll be interesting. Although I think we got a few other things going on right in this part of the field. But basically he's running 4.5 miles an hour, which is very not typical for us to be able to do that in a Class 7 combine the first day of bean harvest. Usually these stems are incredibly green and we're just struggling to get through them running like 2 miles an hour. But where we're just burnt up, there's just, the stems are completely dead, there's not much to them, they're just powder. And it is dusty. Usually it wouldn't be this dusty the first day. Dad's just getting into position here. Man, he's running faster than I thought he was going to run. Okay. Yeah, we're going to unload on the go at 4.5 apparently. Yep. 4.8. One thing about it, we'll fly through the bean acres if we can run that fast and have that little yield. It's not a good thing though. I prefer it take longer, you know, because the yield's good. All right, we got a semi-load. Go dump these, and I think BJ's about back. See if I can remember how to do this. It's about to be running without a cart. We're gonna park this thing up here so that he can dump it, you know, as easy as possible. Hopefully we get this thing ready pretty quick, but we just got a set of leg boots to clean out. We gotta clean out the dump auger, and then we gotta clean out that bin. That'll probably take a couple hours. Yep, okay. You want to stop talking?
Hey everyone, Brian gave me a new camera. Boy, it's a light one. Put my mic on, I guess. Maybe you can understand me and hear me. Since nobody can understand me. So anyway, we're combining beans, just getting started here. Got one load. Just using Lexion. Brian hadn't switched the cleaner over yet. He's got to clean the bins out down there, get him ready, a BJ. So he's going to do that. So I'll probably get this field done today, maybe not. But anyway, we'll hit it hard tomorrow. They're dry, plenty dry, 10, something like that. Yield's not great, right down 15 bushel from our average. Kind of potted close to the ground, can't get them all. Won't leave it some. Yeah, right in the middle of this field here, about where the dead furries were when they used to put no board plow. 36 bushel, that's not good. Short. Oh, the top pods look like they don't have anything in them. It's probably the worst part of this ground right here, this field, probably right here where I'm at. You can see it's kind of a thin stand also, doesn't help. But they are kind of bushed out a little bit. Yeah, this little camera's pretty neat, nice and light. I don't know what the picture's going to be like, but neighbors running over there. They run beans also. They got two green combines. Neighbors up the road are running. I don't know if they run corn beans. That's about it. Not much going on down there yet. A lot of stuff. Just up and around where it's real gravelly. It's it's ready, but bottom is heavier ground's not. Double crops up here in front of us. I don't think they're going to amount to anything. They're starting to die already, and pods aren't filling out. These little things are hard to cut. We put some paddles on the reel every third tooth, duck's feet, what I call them. I don't know what they were. I don't know what they call them. But we're trying them. Doing pretty good for this short beans. Help wipe them right back in the head there. But I didn't think my knife was that dull. But boy, we're not cutting. We're going to have to put some new sections in. Look like not cutting very good at all. These short ones.
Hi, Mason. You're gonna play for the Londonderry? I know. You know who one of your coaches is? Yeah, me.
Smell it.
I think smell goes to. Last night when I was editing a video, Dad definitely said, "Can you guys feel that?" He's talking about how rough the field. You can feel how rough the combine's shaking. No, actually they can't, Dad. Mason, here, grab this.
What? No.
Here.
No.
Oh.
Get away from me.
Best part about this field by the bins being shelled or harvested now, we can dump our junk out here.
We're going to stop and check the knife, see how dull it is. I got some broken, so I don't want to take you long out here. Not real bad, but they're getting there. They need changed. That burr gets wore off of them. They're not as sharp. They don't cut as good. It's getting wore pretty good, so we're gonna put some new knife sections in. See him broke. Still sharp, cut you, but not sharp or nothing. They're not. That beard's not very long. So we'll run a little bit more. Just have to slow down. Then change them in the morning.
Couple massive rats. Them little traps right there, as long as you put them in a high traffic area, they do fantastic. So right now I'm back here behind this grain bin, just trying to get the slide to close, but this handle is old and wore out, has spread. Basically you're supposed to be able to lock this on the bolt, unlock it, go around, climb back on, but you can't, so it won't let go. Very well. I need to get this loose. What I'm saying is these aren't hard tasks, but they just take for frickin' ever. Now, I'll just use the wrench. Just as quick. But that came unhooked. And line this thing back up. Need both hands. We got a nut for this bolt. Let's put that back together. Don't want to load your bin with all your slides open. Right now all the slides are open. What I mean by slides, there's holes in the floor. That's how we empty the bin. If you load the bin with those open, you're gonna probably plug up your auger, smoke the belts on your unload, and just have a really fun time with a pipe wrench trying to unplug that auger inch by inch. Now when I say it's a fun time, I am 100% being sarcastic. It is awful. Wrong size. I might have to sub out a bolt. Maybe this bolt will work. I need to stock up my bolt bins. I ain't trying to carry a lot in the pickup truck, but enough for stuff like this. I wasn't even close to long enough. Where'd that bolt come from? So I'll make the 45th trip out of here. Yeah, I tilt my head down and tilt it down, point sections down a little bit, guards, seem to help a little bit. But bad part of that is I pick up a rock. We got a few rocks in this field, big, but most of them in the ground, but we barely got pushed down, but there might be one or two sticking on top, sitting on top of the ground. I don't know. Still not cutting them off real good, but yeah, we're just not, it's not cutting them off at all up here. So we'll go down over the hill here, these bigger beans, low ground, bottom of the hill, and make a few passes on it, probably be okay. Then we'll
I put some new sections in, new knife in. Yeah, it cut a lot better. Yeah, these bigger beans, we cut them off. Them short ones, you have to have a good knife to cut them off. Yeah, these beans, about 35 bushel better down here. Yeah, I wish they was all like that, 30 to 70 bushel. But they're not going to be, so where there's moisture, there's going to be good beans. Where there's no moisture, they ain't going to be much.
All right, time to get out of coach attire and back into farm attire. Much better. All right, I think Dad is doing some work on his cutter bar. Whenever I called him to see if he was still working on it, I heard that the impact's running, so I guess we're gonna go replace some sections. Maybe wondering why don't you just go take this thing to your new shop and do this in the nice new building. Well, we would if we were close to the shop. I mean, we're close, but we'd have to unhook the head. We just do it right here. We're about 4 miles from the building. The other grain set up, so just do it here. 3 sets of hands. It doesn't take too long to put new sections in. We could pull the knife out. I know someone's going to suggest that we could, but we don't have a workbench or anything like that to put it on. It's just easier to do it right here. It's getting hard to see, so we've got about 2/3 of this head done. We should be able to finish up the rest before morning pretty easily, or before we get started tomorrow afternoon. First time I've seen the building with all the lights on. I think we can get a suntan in here. Well, folks, not exactly how I anticipated the day would go, but we did get something accomplished, I guess. If you enjoyed the content, do me a favor, thumbs up the video. If you like what you're seeing, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Drop us a comment, and we'll see you in the next one.